On September 18th, near a Japanese school in Shenzhen, Guangdong Province, China, a 10-year-old Japanese boy was attacked by a 44-year-old Chinese man named Zhong on his way to school. He was stabbed in the abdomen. After rescue efforts failed, he died in the early morning of the 19th. The incident happened to coincide with the September 18th incident, which was the 93rd anniversary of Japan's war of aggression in northeast China. Commemorative ceremonies were held across the mainland, emphasizing remembering history and never forgetting national humiliation. Radio Free Asia reported, the school song of the Japanese school in Shenzhen where the child attended was circulated on the internet. One of the lyrics said, "Let us smile, let us hold hands, believe in love, open up the world." However, the schoolboy could no longer sing. The boy was killed on the anniversary of the September 18th incident, which may hint at the murderer's motive. Years of education on hatred against foreigners finally blossomed into an evil flower. The incident attracted international attention and aggravated tense diplomatic relations between China and Japan. On September 19th, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida condemned this extremely despicable crime with rare severity. He said in a tweet, "Yesterday, we received news that a student at a Japanese school in Shenzhen, Guangdong, China, was attacked by a man and died in the early morning of the 19th. We can't help but feel deeply sad, and I would like to express my sincere condolences. It was an extremely despicable crime, and we treat it as a serious matter." In addition, Japanese Foreign Minister Yoko Kamikawa also said, "The suspect has been detained, and as the investigation proceeds, the background and intentions will emerge. Japan requires China to provide an explanation as soon as possible." The Embassy of Japan in China and the Consulate General in Guangzhou have requested all the facts surrounding this incident from China, and have also strongly requested that all possible efforts be made to ensure the safety of Japanese nationals. The murderer attacked a 10-year-old child in front of the child's mother. Faced with such a violent incident, some netizens in mainland China posted in the group, "It's Japanese, great, well done." On September 20th, Deputy County Magistrate of Xinlang County, Guangzhou Prefecture, Sichuan Province, China, Wang Ruyi encouraged people to kill the Japanese in a WeChat group chat. He said, "How big a deal is it to kill a child? The American father of Japanese people still kills hundreds of people every day. We are not killing innocent people, we are killing little Japanese. Our discipline is to kill Japanese people." The 278 videos promoting Japanese hate on China's Kuaishou platform that call for demolishing Japanese schools have not been censored. They have a total of 2,313,525 likes. 5 videos have more than 100,000 likes, with the highest likes reaching 327,000. However, many Shenzhen citizens also went to place flowers outside the school where the incident occurred. One cluster of white flowers had a piece of paper written on it, "Child, I'm sorry," and signed Shenzhen people. A man who came to the scene to mourn with flowers in his arms said, "This is the consequence of long-term persistence in hate education." Long live peace, long live Chinese and Japanese friendship, oppose teaching of hatred. I am a random resident in Shenzhen. As the Chinese people, we oppose this behavior. We oppose this teaching of hatred. Many of us have been under such hatred education for a long time, which has led to such evil consequences. This is the evil consequence of persisting in hatred education for a long time. Why has the current Sino-Japanese relationship undergone such a big change? In what ways has the Chinese government incited Chinese people to hate Japan in the past decade or so? The first is to teach children to hate Japan in schools, and the second is to deliberately exaggerate the facts in the official media to make the people hate Japan. The third is to allow and encourage the broadcast of a large number of anti-Japanese dramas. The fourth is to condone the self-media to spread rumors. From the following videos, you can see how Chinese children begin to hate Japan at a young age. Bad Japan, I'll beat you to death. Come here and beat you to death. Bad Japan, I'll kick you to death. Japan, Japan, why do you hit the TV? Don't hit TV, there's electricity, so don't hit TV. Come here and give me a hand, blow up little Japan and kill the little Japanese. In 2023, Japan began to discharge nuclear-treated water. This incident has been recognized by the International Atomic Energy Agency. Almost all countries and scientific circles in the world have no objections. However, in China, the government and official media are hyping it every day. This round of hype has once again pushed the Chinese people's hatred of Japan to a peak. Let's take a look at a video. I just watched a video about why Japanese people are so bad. Japan used to attack us, but now it releases nuclear wastewater into the sea. I want to kill them. Since the Japanese nuclear-treated water incident, China has begun to ban the import of Japanese aquatic products completely. However, after the assassination of a Japanese boy in Shenzhen, the attitude of the Beijing authorities towards Japan's Fukushima nuclear wastewater discharge and the import of Japanese aquatic products suddenly reversed. On September 20th, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China issued a document announcing that China and Japan have reached a consensus on the restoration of Japanese aquatic products. China will gradually resume the import of Japanese aquatic products that meet standards. Why did the government suddenly relax the policy again? Jiang Feng, host of the Current Affairs Commentary channel, analyzed. On September 18th, a Japanese primary school student in Shenzhen was stabbed to death, which aroused the anger of the international community. Foreign-funded companies have accelerated their flight, which will make China's economic recovery even more hopeless. At the same time, the Chinese people under systematic hate education propaganda have inspired some people, and their extreme actions have become more frequent and sudden, which has given the CCP a huge sense of social loss of control. Therefore, in less than 3 days, the assassination of a Japanese schoolchild in Shenzhen quickly put an end to this important topic of hatred against Japan in recent years, the topic of nuclear wastewater discharge. In other words, the CCP has refuted the rumors it spread and promoted. This assassination incident is the second crime against Japanese people this year. As early as June 24th this year, a Chinese man in Suzhou City, Guangdong Province, attacked a Japanese expat mother and son and people on a Japanese school bus. Citizens Hu Yuping fought desperately to save him. The flag of the Japanese embassy in China was flown at half-mast for Hu Yuping, and the Japanese foreign minister publicly expressed condolences. But some Chinese people reacted differently. There were many vicious attacks in the comment area, saying that she was a traitor and deserved to die for saving the Japanese. There was also a woman who called the Suzhou Public Security Bureau to ask the police to release the murderer. Let's listen to her recording. I killed 2 little Japanese and didn't kill the little Japanese. They were stopped by a female traitor. The female traitor was seriously injured because of the obstruction and was lying in the hospital. The 2 little Japanese were discharged from the hospital safe and sound. Comrade Zhou, our hero and national hero who was criminally detained. We want to express the aspirations of the Chinese people because I am a Chinese. In the eyes of us Chinese, little Japan is a XX. When we see little Japan, it's like killing a chicken. Like XX, that is a normal thing, right? And therefore, we suggest that as long as this policeman is a public security officer for the Chinese people, he should protect Zhou Yingshang. He has not committed any crime. After the murder incident in Suzhou, a large number of imitators appeared in various places. They came to the gates of Japanese schools in major cities to conduct surveillance. Many netizens also established teams online for eliminating traitors. I am now at the entrance of Shanghai Japanese School. I will monitor everything here. Please rest assured, Motherland, that you will concentrate on resolving the Taiwan Strait issue and leave everything here to me. According to available data from the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there are 101,786 Japanese overseas Chinese in China, of whom nearly 20,000 are minors. There are 11 Japanese schools in China, with about 3,300 students studying there. Vicious incidents against the Japanese continue to occur, which makes every Japanese in China feel in danger. Japanese companies in China are also highly vigilant. Panasonic Holdings allows dispatched employees working in China and their families to return home or work at home temporarily, and the return expenses will be borne by the company. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, Honda, and other companies are also considering corresponding countermeasures. What's more important is that after the boy was killed, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian repeatedly emphasized at the press conference that this is an isolated case, and similar cases may occur in any country. In the last Suzhou school bus incident, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning also described the incident as an accidental incident. The information about the man who was later assassinated has never been released, and no details of the case have been disclosed so far. For this reason, Japan's Sankei Shimbun published on September 20th, "Japanese children were assassinated. Won't the Chinese government reflect on it?" The editorial said, although the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Communist Party of China expressed regret for the unfortunate incident at the press conference, it also said that such things can happen in any country and will not affect the exchanges and cooperation between China and Japan. Such remarks are intolerable. Attacks on Japanese people occurred one after another in a short period of time. There was no other country like this except China. The Chinese government should deeply reflect on the situation and take clear measures to prevent it from happening again. The root of the problem lies in the anti-Japanese education of the Chinese Communist regime. The same reason is why the Yasukuni Shrine has been continuously graffitied by Chinese people. If the CCP does not change its practice of using politics to incite anti-Japanese sentiment, the safety of Japanese people in China will never be guaranteed. Japan's Yomiuri Shimbun also published an editorial on the 20th. "A boy was stabbed to death. China needs to explain the details of the murder." The editorial stated, "The Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Communist Party of China said that the suspect had a criminal record and it was an isolated incident. He did not mention the continuous killing of Japanese people and did not explain the details of the incident. China's major media did not report it. In this way, the significance of the incident and Japan's awareness of the crisis cannot be shared, and the CCP's response can only discredit it." The article also said that on Chinese social platforms, some people spread that Japanese schools are spy schools. Is the Chinese Communist government's tolerance of the spread of such misinformation the cause of the incident? Japanese companies are accelerating their consideration of whether to operate and dispatch employees in China. China should realize that the Chinese Communist government's initiative to disclose information is the only way to prevent further deterioration in Japan-China relations and curb the negative impact on China's economy. So why are Sino-Japanese relations so tense today? Sino-Japanese relations were not like this in the 1980s and 1990s. Let's look back at history. China and Japan normalized diplomatic relations in 1972. In October 1978, Deng Xiaoping visited Japan for the first time. When he visited a steelmaking factory in Japan, he was impressed by the factory's most advanced equipment and technology. He asked the Japanese to help China build a similar factory. Let's work together for the friendship between the Chinese and Japanese peoples from generation to generation, for the brighter future of Sino-Japanese relations and peace in Asia and the world. Two months after Deng Xiaoping visited Japan on December 24, 1978, China Bao Steel laid the first foundation stone in the northern suburbs of Shanghai. At the time, this was the largest engineering project since the founding of the People's Republic of China. Almost all of Bao Steel's financial support and technical support are due to the Japanese. The first batch of employees all went to the iron and steel plant for internship training. In the early days of reform and opening up, the Japanese provided a large amount of assistance to China. In the 1980s and 90s, no one in China tried to interfere with Japan, and the Chinese also liked Japanese electrical appliances and other products. The photo below is a huge poster on the streets of Guilin City, Guangdong Province in the 1980s. It reads, "Warmly celebrate the establishment of sister cities between Guilin City and Kumamoto City." The picture shows a girl wearing a kimono and another girl wearing Han-style clothing hugging each other. However, this beautiful Sino-Japanese friendship has greatly changed in just a dozen years. Nowadays, no one dares to wear a Japanese kimono and take to the streets. In the video below, a little girl wore a kimono and took pictures on the streets of Suzhou. She was immediately taken away by the police for causing trouble. We are here to take pictures. If you are wearing the traditional dress of the Chinese people, I would never say this, but if you are wearing a kimono, it would not be for a Chinese person. Are you Chinese? I would like to ask if you can yell at me so loudly. Yes, if you don't cooperate. What reason do you have to arrest me? Suspected of picking quarrels and provoking trouble. I'm just wearing a piece of clothing. Come back with us. By 2012, Sino-Japanese relations began to deteriorate, with incidents such as people burning down Japanese vehicles or Japanese department stores across China. American Insider has a report titled, "Twitter users are discussing how authentic nationalism is in China today." It revealed that Chinese people participated in anti-Japanese street protests on a large scale. The real driving force behind the scenes was the CCP. The article said, September 18th was once a so-called day of national humiliation, vigorously promoted by the Chinese Communist authorities. The Chinese public is told to remember the day of national humiliation when Japan launched a war of aggression against China in the first half of the 20th century, and to strive for the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Before and after the September 18th incident in 2012, large-scale anti-Japanese demonstrations took place in as many as 80 cities in China, which strictly prohibited people from taking to the streets to demonstrate. In many cities, incidents of looting and vandalism targeting Japanese businesses and Japanese brand vehicles occurred. However, overnight, with an order, those seemingly huge crowds of angry protesters disappeared and never appeared again. In the following years, the official media avoided mentioning September 18th, a once highly publicized anniversary of national humiliation. Under the VOA Chinese website X account, many users expressed their opinions. They believe that nationalism, especially anti-Japanese nationalism, is a performance controlled by the CCP authorities in today's China. The following is what they published. It's a performance controlled by the CCP. In fact, the Chinese people admire the Japanese very much. They are very smart and highly qualified, with extremely high product quality and integrity. It's just that the CCP incites anti-Japanese propaganda every day and severely cracks down on those who have a favorable impression of Japan. On the surface, there are many anti-Japanese people. In fact, many anti-Japanese people buy Japanese cars and use Japanese toilets. Chinese nationalism is wholly controlled by the government. It can be overwhelming when needed and silent when not needed. The ordinary people listen to orders. When you promote China and Japan are neighbors separated only by a strip of water, you are pro-Japanese. When promoting, don't forget the national humiliation. Just be anti-Japanese. When we need Japan's capital and technology, we are close neighbors separated only by a strip of water. When we don't need Japan, it's because the Japanese always pursue occupying China.